Hey there, vintage car fans, and welcome to this deep dive curated just for you listeners of the Vintage Car Chronicles Daily Show.
Daily dose of automotive history and insights. You can catch us on Spotify, Deezer, Apple Music, and YouTube.
And today we're buckling up for a ride through the world of Volvo cars.
A brand that's really synonymous with safety, innovation, and that, distinct Swedish heritage.
When you think about it, Volvo's story, it's almost like a microcosm of the whole auto industry.
Oh, it's got everything. Humble beginnings, groundbreaking engineering, fierce competition.
And even a bit of geopolitical drama.
Yeah.
It's not just about the cars themselves.
Right.
It's about what made them tick, what drove their decisions, and how they ultimately became, such an iconic brand.
Exactly. And to really get Volvo, I think you got to start at the beginning back in 1927.
Okay, so paint me a picture.
Sweden was a totally different landscape. Literally and figuratively.
What was going on that led to the birth of Volvo?
Well, imagine rugged terrain, harsh winters. Cars back then, they weren't just a luxury, they were a necessity.
Right.
To navigate those conditions, and that's where Assar Gabrielsen and Christoph Larsen come in.
Volvo's founders.
Yeah, they weren't just building cars, they were creating vehicles designed to conquer the elements.
So from day one, it was about more than just transportation.
Yeah.
It was about resilience and reliability.
Mm-hmm.
Is that where that famous Volvo emphasis on safety comes from?
Absolutely. The first Volvo models were engineered to withstand those demanding Swedish roads.
Right.
And weather conditions, and their whole philosophy, it's perfectly captured in this quote: "Cars are driven by people. The guiding principle behind everything we make at Volvo, therefore, is and must remain safety." That's a powerful statement, and it really shaped every aspect of the company.
It's funny because today we take safety features for granted, but back then it wasn't the norm.
No.
Volvo was really a pioneer in that sense.
Oh, absolutely. Think laminated glass, 3-point seatbelt, rear-facing child seat,
Right.
the side impact protection system. These innovations were revolutionary, and they weren't just for Volvo drivers.
Right.
Nils Bohlin, the engineer who invented the 3-point seatbelt,
Yeah.
Volvo actually waived its patent rights, so this life-saving invention was available to every car manufacturer.
Wow. That's a pretty incredible act of, altruism.
Yeah.
Imagine giving away something so potentially valuable.
Yeah, it speaks volumes about their commitment to making roads safer for everyone, not just for those driving a Volvo, and that legacy, it continues today. They've been at the forefront of so many safety advancements.
From trample zones to all the driver assistance systems. It's not just about building safe cars. It's about pushing the whole industry forward.
Yeah.
So we've talked about those early years and the focus on safety. Let's zoom in on something a bit more visual.
Okay.
That iconic Volvo logo.
Yeah.
What's the story behind that symbol?
What's so recognizable, right? That ancient chemical symbol for iron.
Right.
It's not just a random design choice.
Right.
It represents strength and resilience of Swedish steel. It's
Yeah.
a lot of national pride tied up in that.
It's almost like a badge of honor.
Yeah.
A symbol of Swedish ingenuity and craftsmanship.
Mm.
And I've always been curious about that diagonal bar across the grille.
Yeah.
Is there a story there too?
Well, there is.
Okay.
It wasn't initially a stylistic choice. It was actually a practical solution
Oh, really?
to hold that circular symbol in place.
So form and function all in one.
Exactly.
I love that. Okay, so we've covered those early years, that iconic logo. But Volvo's history is more than just safety and symbols. Let's talk about the cars themselves.
Okay.
How did their models evolve over time?
Well, from those early OV4 and PV4 models, they went on to create some truly iconic cars.
Like,
The sleek Amazon, the sporty P1800,
yeah.
the almost indestructible 240 series.
Mhm.
Each model kind of reflects their evolving design language, but they all stay true to those core values.
It's interesting how some of those models became almost synonymous with a particular era.
Yeah.
Like you see a 240, you instantly think of the 80s.
You're right. The 240 was everywhere, especially in North America.
Yeah.
People love their simplicity, dependability,
Right.
and of course their reputation for safety. They were built to last.
But Volvo didn't just rest on its laurels.
Right,
They were
yeah.
constantly innovating.
Yeah.
What about the 850?
Oh, yeah.
Didn't that shake things up a bit?
The 850 was a game changer, no doubt about it. Remember, most Volvos up to this point were rear-wheel drive.
Right.
The 850 flips the script, put the engine sideways, transversely, frees up space inside,
Yeah.
allowed for that unique 5-cylinder sound.
Right.
Volvo became known for, plus it was packed with groundbreaking safety innovations. The side impact protection system, self-adjusting seatbelt reels.
Yeah.
The 850 was ahead of its time.
Were you a fan of the look back then?
I was a little young to have a strong opinion then.
Right.
But looking back now, it's clear that 850 was pivotal for Volvo. It paved the way for a whole new era of sporty yet safe vehicles.
Right. And while we're on the topic of sporty,
Yeah.
we can't overlook the Volvo P1800.
Oh, the P1800.
That sleep coupe, made famous by Roger Moore in The Saint.
Yeah.
It really was a head-turner, but wasn't it a bit of a departure for Volvo?
It was their first real foray into the world of sports cars, and it definitely made a stylish statement.
Right.
Those flowing lines, the distinctive grille, it was a true beauty.
Yeah.
But you're right, it wasn't the typical Volvo. It was more about performance and image.
So how did people react to it back then? Did they see it as a genuine sports car or just a Volvo trying to be something it wasn't?
Well, there were certainly some who questioned whether it was Volvo enough, but I think ultimately it succeeded.
Yeah.
Their image showed that they could build exciting, stylish cars without compromising their core values.
Right. And speaking of expanding their image, Volvo wasn't just sticking to one type of car.
Right.
They ventured into the SUV world too.
You're talking about the XC90.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a major turning point for Volvo.
Right.
They took their legendary safety features and combined them with the practicality and versatility of an SUV.
And they did it in style.
Yeah.
I mean, the XC90 has this really distinctive Scandinavian elegance that set it apart from the competition.
Yeah.
It wasn't just another boxy SUV.
Exactly. And it was a huge success. Became one of their best-selling models. It's evolved over the years, of course, with the second generation showcasing their commitment to luxury and cutting-edge technology. The XC90 has become a flagship model for Volvo, representing their ability to blend safety, performance, and style in a way that really resonates with buyers.
It's interesting to see how Volvo has navigated the changing tastes of the automotive market. They haven't been afraid to experiment and evolve, but they've always managed to maintain that core Volvo identity. But let's be honest, the automotive world is a tough business. Volvo's journey has been marked by more than just innovation and stylish cars, right?
You're right, there have been challenges along the way. Moments of uncertainty and some tough decisions. In our next part, we're going to delve into some of those bumps in the road, exploring how Volvo navigated mergers, acquisitions, and even the global financial crisis. It's a story of resilience, adaptation, and a relentless pursuit of success in a constantly evolving industry.
I'm definitely intrigued. Before we move on to the next part, I just want to remind our listeners that this deep dive is curated just for you.
Yeah.
The fans of Vintage Car Chronicles, your daily dose of automotive history and insights. You can find us on Spotify, Deezer, Apple Music, and YouTube. We'll be back soon to continue our exploration of Volvo's fascinating journey.
Absolutely. Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of Volvo. Last time we explored their origins, their unwavering commitment to safety, and those iconic models that really put them on the map.
But as we hinted at the end of the last part, Volvo's story isn't all smooth sailing.
Right.
They've had to navigate some pretty choppy waters over the years.
Absolutely. The automotive industry is notoriously competitive. And for a company like Volvo staying afloat, it meant making some strategic decisions.
Yeah.
Even if those decisions weren't always easy.
Okay, so let's talk about those choppy waters.
Okay.
What were some of the biggest hurdles Volvo faced as they tried to carve out their place in the global market?
Well, as we touched upon earlier, the pressure to consolidate was immense.
Right.
Remember those near mergers with Saab,
Right.
Renault?
Yeah.
It's fascinating to think about what the automotive landscape might look like today if those deals had gone through.
It makes you wonder if Volvo would have been able to maintain their unique identity or if they would have become absorbed into a larger entity.
Yeah.
And then there was that whole episode with the Norwegian government and the oil rights.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like something out of a spy thriller.
It really does.
It highlights how complex the automotive world can be.
Right.
It's not just about building and selling cars.
Right.
There are these geopolitical factors, economic pressures,
Right.
and even national pride at play. Speaking of national pride, let's shift gears for a moment and talk about something I find fascinating. Volvo's marketing. They've always had this knack for cultivating a very specific image,
Yeah.
a certain feeling
Yeah.
that goes beyond just the cars themselves.
You're absolutely right. Volvo has been incredibly savvy when it comes to marketing. They understand the power of storytelling,
Right.
and they've consistently emphasized their Swedish heritage, weaving it into their brand narrative.
It's not just about selling a car, it's about selling a lifestyle.
Right.
A sense of Scandinavian sophistication.
Yeah.
A commitment to sustainability and that understated elegance.
Exactly, and they've been brilliant at aligning themselves with events and sponsorships that reinforce those values.
Like what?
Think about the Volvo Ocean Race.
Oh, yeah.
That grueling around the world sailing competition.
Right.
It's all about pushing boundaries, resilience, and a spirit of adventure qualities that perfectly align with Volvo's image.
It's a really clever way to connect with a global audience and showcase their capabilities beyond just building cars.
Yeah.
And then you have their long-standing support of golf tournaments.
Oh, yeah.
The Volvo Masters, the Volvo China Open.
It's a subtle but effective way to target a specific demographic.
Right.
Discerning individuals who appreciate quality, precision, and performance. It's all about building those emotional connections.
Right.
And fostering brand loyalty.
Okay, but marketing and brand image aside, Volvo has also ventured into a realm that doesn't immediately scream safety and sensibility.
Okay.
Motorsports.
Yeah.
Did they ever really make a splash in the racing world?
You might be surprised. Volvo actually has a richer history in motorsports than many people realize.
Oh, really?
It dates back to the 1960s, and they've competed in various racing series around the world,
Like,
from touring cars to rally racing.
so it wasn't just a brief flirtation with the racetrack?
They're serious contenders.
Okay.
They've achieved some remarkable victories over the years.
Like, yeah.
Remember the iconic Volvo 240 Turbo? That beast dominated the European Touring Car Championship in the 1980s.
Wow. I always associate the 240 with being a sturdy family hauler,
Right.
not a track-scorching speed demon.
He was a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yeah.
But they also competed in the British Touring Car Championship,
Yeah.
the Swedish Touring Car Championship,
Oh.
and even the World Touring Car Championship.
So they were really putting their cars to the test
Yeah,
in some of the most demanding racing environments.
absolutely.
Did their motorsports involvement have any impact on their road car development?
Oh, without a doubt.
Okay.
Motorsports is a proving ground for technology and engineering.
Right.
The lessons learned on the track, they often trickle down to their production vehicles,
Yeah.
leading to advancements in areas like performance, handling, and even safety.
So while we might not think of Volvo as a racing powerhouse, their involvement in motorsports has definitely contributed to their overall reputation
Yeah.
for durability and performance. It's like a hidden layer to their story.
Exactly. Now let's bring things back to those challenges
Okay.
we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
The late 20th century was a turbulent time for the entire auto industry.
Right.
And Volvo wasn't immune to those pressures.
Right. There was that whole saga with Ford acquiring Volvo in 1999.
Yeah.
What was the thinking behind that move?
Well, from Ford's perspective, it was about expanding their global reach
Right.
and tapping into Volvo's reputation for safety and engineering. For Volvo, it offered financial stability
Right.
and access to Ford's vast resources.
But it wasn't a match made in heaven, was it?
It was a complex relationship. There were cultural differences, strategic disagreements,
Right.
and then the financial crisis of 2008
Yeah.
really threw a wrench into the works.
Things got pretty tense there for a while, right?
Yeah, it did.
There were concerns in Sweden about the future of Volvo if Ford were to file for bankruptcy. It must have been a stressful time for everyone involved.
Absolutely. And ultimately, Ford made the decision to sell Volvo to Geely Holding Group in 2010.
That must have been a huge turning point for Volvo.
It was. Geely recognized Volvo's potential and provided them with the financial stability
Right.
and strategic vision they needed to thrive. They invested heavily in new technologies, expanded their model lineup, and really allowed Volvo to reclaim its position as a global leader in the automotive industry.
It sounds like Geely has given Volvo the space and resources to flourish
Yeah,
while respecting their heritage and core values.
absolutely. It's been a remarkable turnaround story. In our final part, we'll delve into Volvo's recent innovations, their bold embrace of electrification, and their vision for the future of mobility.
I'm eager to hear where they're headed. But before we wrap up this part, let me remind our listeners that this deep dive is curated just for you. The fans of Vintage Car Chronicles, your daily dose of automotive history and insights. You can find us on Spotify, Deezer, Apple Music, and YouTube. We'll be back soon to explore the final chapter in Volvo's fascinating journey. Welcome back to our Volvo Deep Dive. We've journeyed through their beginnings, their commitment to safety, their iconic models, and even those nail-biting moments of mergers and acquisitions.
It's been quite a ride so far, but Volvo's story isn't over yet.
Okay, what makes you say that? What's happening with Volvo now that has you so excited?
Well, think about the automotive landscape today. It's changing faster than ever before.
Yeah.
We're on the cusp of a major shift toward electrification, autonomous driving, and a whole new way of thinking about personal transportation.
Right, and Volvo seems to be right there in the thick of it, leading the charge in many ways.
Exactly. They haven't just dipped their toes into the electric vehicle market. They've made a bold commitment to becoming a fully electric car maker by 2030.
Hmm.
That's a major statement, and it shows they're serious about shaping the future of mobility.
Yeah, it's a pretty ambitious goal considering that not too long ago they were best known for those boxy, reliable wagons.
Right.
How did they make that transition from those iconic models to cutting-edge electric vehicles?
It's been a gradual evolution, really.
Okay.
They started experimenting with alternative fuels and hybrid technology years ago. Remember the Volvo Recharge concept car
Yeah.
from back in 2007?
Yeah,
That was a glimpse into their thinking,
right.
and it paved the way for the plug-in hybrids they introduced later on.
Right, and now they have a whole lineup of recharge models, both pure electric and plug-in hybrids. It seems like they're really putting their money where their mouth is when it comes to sustainability.
Absolutely, and it's not just about building electric cars. They're also investing in renewable energy sources for their factories,
Yeah.
exploring sustainable materials for their vehicles, and really taking a holistic approach to minimizing their environmental impact.
So it's safe to say that Volvo's commitment to sustainability is more than just a marketing ploy.
Yeah,
It's woven into the very fabric of the company.
I think that's a fair assessment. But let's not forget about innovation.
Yeah.
Volvo has always been known for pushing the boundaries of automotive technology,
Right.
and that hasn't changed in the electric era.
So give me some examples. What are some of the innovations they brought to the table recently?
Well, they've been at the forefront of developing advanced driver assistance systems. Their latest models feature some of the most sophisticated safety features on the market. Things like lane keeping assist, adaptive cruise control, and even pilot assist, which can handle some driving tasks on the highway.
I've heard about those features. They're pretty impressive.
Hmm.
But it sounds like they're not just focused on safety anymore.
Right.
They're also pushing the boundaries of design and luxury.
You're right. Take a look at the interiors of their latest models.
Yeah.
They're beautifully appointed with high-quality materials, minimalist Scandinavian design, and those intuitive infotainment systems. Volvo has really elevated their game in terms of creating a premium driving experience.
So it's like they've taken all the things Volvo has always been known for, safety, quality, and that understated elegance, and amplified them for the 21st century.
Precisely, and I think that's what makes their future so exciting. They're not just following trends, they're setting them. They're combining their heritage with a forward-thinking vision to create vehicles that are both desirable and responsible.
Well, you've made me a believer. Volvo's journey has been full of twists and turns, but they've always managed to stay true to their core values while adapting to the changing times.
It's a testament to their resilience, their innovative spirit, and their commitment to making a positive impact on the world.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of Volvo cars, what are some key takeaways you want our listeners to remember?
I think first and foremost, Volvo is a company that has always put people first. Their unwavering dedication to safety has saved countless lives and pushed the entire automotive industry to prioritize occupant protection.
And they're not content to rest on their laurels. They're constantly innovating, whether it's developing cutting-edge safety features, embracing electric powertrains, or creating a more sustainable future for mobility.
Volvo is a brand that represents more than just cars. It represents a set of values that resonate deeply with people all over the world.
Well said. It's been an absolute pleasure exploring the fascinating world of Volvo with you. I think we've all learned a lot about this iconic Swedish brand. And for our listeners who want to keep the Volvo journey going, what models would you recommend they check out?
Oh, that's a tough one. There are so many great options. If you're looking for a classic, you can't go wrong with the Amazon or the P1800. For a taste of their iconic wagons, the 240 is a must-see. And if you want to experience the latest and greatest from Volvo, definitely check out the XC90 Recharge or the all-electric C40.
Great recommendations. As we bring this deep dive to a close, I want to thank you, our listeners, for joining us on this journey through the captivating world of Volvo cars. This deep dive was curated just for you fans of the Vintage Car Chronicles Daily Show. Be sure to check out the show on Spotify, Deezer, Apple Music, and YouTube for more explorations into the fascinating world of automobiles. Until next time, keep those vintage engines running.